Okay, hi everyone. We're here at beautiful, iconic Cherry Beach, talking about open water swimming. And we've got Doug Vanderby, the North Toronto Masters head honcho.
Yep. Head buckaroo.
Head buckaroo. Oh boy, I blew that again. And we're here to talk about excitement. And so it's what? It's April, so it's cold. The water's about, what would the water be, Doug? Right
Probably
now?
about 4, 5 degrees, low 40s.
So you gotta be
Well, we're beside the drag strip here. So when we start, one of the things I want to talk about with equipment is right now, with being April, we want to dress warmer for the cold water, and as the water comes up, we'll just start here. We got Dan, you can be my
I'll be Vanna.
Vanna. We have 2 types of masks. All right, we have a full face piece mask, and you can breathe through the top, and that prevents the cold water from hitting your cheeks. A lot of open water swimmers right now, beginning of the month, are going with this style because getting your cheeks used to the water, you have to acclimatize, and it takes a little time. Once you've got your cheeks used to it, and we're going to talk about that a little later, then we can go with the type of goggles. Dan also has in his hand earplugs. These are the really fancy ones. You can also go to Home Depot and get the foam ones that are like 50 cents. All right, and get those because you lose a lot of your body heat. You lose through your ear canals in a cold environment.
What I like about these, can I just say, is that I was getting, with the cheaper ones, I was getting dizzy. And with these, because the sound can go through the earplug, I didn't have that issue.
Good point. Good point.
There you go.
And you want to hear what's happening around you too. All right.
Hey,
so let's get into, now I'm just going to jump ahead here because it's April. I have a spring suit on underneath a wetsuit. This is Dan's wetsuit, and this is a 4-3 Rip Curl Dawn Patrol suit. These suits, they're surfing wetsuits, but the cut on them is fantastic for swimming. There's a lot of hesitation a few years back about using these type of suits because it's surfing. They're not swimmer suits, but you get into one of these, I think they're better than Tri-Geek suits. So
yeah, this is actually an E-bomb, and it's got really stretchy material. It's fantastic, and it's zipless. So you actually just pull a cord here, and it zips up.
I've gone with the old traditional back zipper.
Yeah.
These are great because I'm not that flexible anymore. Where here you just pull. So that's that.
Yeah, good.
We get into, now, we got socks and booties. We got different types of booties. So let's back up. This boot is a 5mm boot, and notice, water noodle for drying. No one likes to get into this stuff when it's wet, it's cold. This is for like cold water, and you put a sock, a 1mm sock, you got 6mm here. Your toes, what's going to get cold? Usually it gets cold first, and when I say this, everyone's going to go absolutely. Fingertips and toes. So 5mm with a sock, you got 6mm. You can go another type of booty, which is 5mm, over top of this sock, and that's 6mm, and that's great too. And the nice thing about this combination is the water warms up, you can start layering off, all right?
Yeah.
So that's huge. The
mask.
The hoodie. All right, this is a 5'3". In April, at least a 5'3". 7 is keeps you warm. These hoods, first of all, in cold water, you lose a lot of your body heat through your head, and you don't want to swim cold. The whole purpose of this is getting in and swimming warm. A lot of swimmers are hopping in. There are some swimmers that are acclimatized, that are going, as we call it, naked in a Speedo. Maybe they get in about a month's time, but they're acclimatized to it. right now, I just want to get in, and I'm sure Dan and everyone else, Katie and company, and we want to do a workout. So we want to stay warm. This hoodie is great. This hoodie has like a what do you call it? It's like a dickie. Oh my God, that I'm dating myself when I say that. You put this on, and then your wetsuit over top of it, and it gives you a really good seal for your core. It's all about keeping your core warm.
This has been fantastic. This has been made such a difference for me. Yeah.
It's huge, and you don't get the. I'm sorry, you're going to hear it every now and then. The tri-geeks are getting the 101s with the little chin strap. That's not cool in this type of weather or environment.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the gloves we're talking about?
Gloves.
Yeah.
5'3", nice and long. All right. The gloves are great. Again, you want to keep your fingertips warm. A lot of my swimmers in the club, they're getting into open water. One of the biggest things I hear is fingertips, they get cold. And they do get cold. There's your circulation. So fingertips warm.
We should mention that a lot of us have been going to Surf the Greats, which is downtown Carlisle. It's a fantastic place, good people, so check them out.
So another little trick, and I don't have the piece with me, is when you're in cold water, initially when you jump in, it's cold water shock. Your body's under shock. You could start hypoventilating. You're not used to it. So let's just back up to cold water shock. Next thing when you're in cold water is you start losing your coordination in cold water. If you fall in without any of this stuff on in 40-degree water, what's going to happen? Shock. Then you start losing control of your limbs. It's called lack of coordination in cold water. When that happens, usually you drown. People do not go hypothermic immediately in cold water. It takes about 20 minutes for you to go full hypothermia in cold water. And that depends on the body type. So if you don't have brown fat, they're doing huge studies lately out in St. John's. The sailors that capsize in the boats, they're finding the guys that survive have incredible amounts of brown fat. They're short, stocky guys, and they can last in cold water, where the guys that don't have any fat, that are slim, they end up going hypothermic, and the results can be very tragic. So, back on, I had to say that. Oh yeah. But where I was going with that, sorry, before I get ahead of this, is one of the things I do, and I don't have it with me, is I have an old wetsuit and I cut the arms and I put it on my forearms. And one of the things, and Katie will verify this, is your forearms have a lot of veins in front. And if you keep them warm, that's going to keep your core warm. If you go to a major fire in the middle of summer, you will see firefighters sitting in lawn chairs with their forearms in ice water. That is cooling their core down. Vice versa. Keep it warm, warm. All right. The most safety.
I love this thing. This is
The buoy. All right. A lot of swimmers are showing up at Cherry Beach. This is going to be my PSA or whatever you want to call it. And they don't have buoys. This is an accident waiting to happen. If we take a look, I don't know if Dean, or if you can see, there's lots of windsurfers out there. And if you look at some of them, they are rocking. And a lot of them now are going hydrofoil. And they get up on the water, and if that hydrofoil hits you, it's going to split you in half. I talked to a lot of the guys over at the windsurfing club, and a lot of them are like, it's good that these guys like wearing these buoy markers. A lot of them are complaining that swimmers are not wearing their buoy markers. We're black. Look at the water. All right, you're not going to see someone to the last second. A lot of boat traffic through here. It's very important to know the area that you are swimming in. Cherry Beach is a pretty good area. There's a few rocky areas. You don't swim past the gap. That's a shipping channel. Know the area. All right, that's very important. All right, over here.
over here. We got to move one last station.
One last little thing. Thank you for putting up. So, here's a cap to go along with our buoy marker.
The brake cap is important, right? Yeah.
Yep. You want to get a iPhone or a cell phone case, and you can put your car keys in, so you're not leaving your car keys lying around. You can put them. Some of the
In the buoy.
yeah, some of them have a little thing you can put it in.
Base.
And this is the most important thing right now. At the beginning of the season, and it's funny, on my Facebook page, I'll say I was in, and I always get this question: how far did you swim? It's not about how far you swim in April. It's about getting your body used to the time it's in the water. So let's say today, this is going to be Katie's first time. If she's in for 10 to 15 minutes, bundled up, not feeling cold, not going hypothermic, that's great. Next time she goes in, she'll go for 15 minutes and then 20 and so on. In a month's time, in May, after we've been in a dozen times, then we're going to start, 20 minutes, 2K, whatever you're going to do. So that's really important. I also have, when you get out, getting in the water is great, but when you get out, if you drive down here, wherever you are, you got a bag, put your wet gear in, make sure you have a couple towels, you can wrap yourself up. Swim jackets, I'm sure a majority of us have these jackets. They're good to put on. Anything to add, Dan?
Mine's a classic.
Here's a classic, a vintage.
It still works.
1981, Heidelberg.
Wow.
81. That was a few years ago. But okay, that's great, Doug. Now we're going to do another session out in the water where we're going to talk about the start-stop routine in terms of how to get used to the cold water. So we'll be back in a second.
Perfect.
Okay, so here we are. Now a couple things before we get in. We got we got Katie here, ladies first, and we got Dano. And I'm going to kind of guide them as they go in. One of the biggest things as you go into cold water, I talked about this earlier, is cold water shock. We don't want to go jumping in here. So breathing, nice steady breathing before you go in. Even though in your wetsuit, you want to have nice controlled breaths. All right, so we kind of got a location here so we can videotape, and we're going to go over here. Katie, Dano, off you go, nice and slow. Hey Dano, remember the gray hair.
Great.
All right, now we are, where do you want me, Dean?
Doesn't matter, anywhere.
All right, so, a little slippery on the rock.
Okay,
Yeah,
be careful. Be careful.
Is it all right there?
And how do I climatize?
Dan, I'll be a gentleman and help Katie.
So it's okay, we have to keep our distance.
Stay your distance.
All righty. Slip in together. Now, we want to climatize. Notice what Katie's doing and Dan's doing. A little water on the face. This is Katie's first time this year. Woohoo! Dano's been in a few times. Then you're going to do a little wade in, float around, control your breathing. All right, breathing is very important. I err on the side of caution and safety here. All right, we want to get in, we want to enjoy our swim, we do not want any surprises. All right, Dano's flipping around. Okay, when you're ready, maybe dump your head in for a couple seconds, then pop up, there you go. Just the goggles, Katie, thumbs up. Now it's important, Dan, thumbs up. When you're swimming in a group, someone asks how you're doing, thumbs up. All right?
Okay.
All right, when the two of you are ready, swim into the sunset. Off they go.
Beautiful.
Dano! Okay, one of the things that I've noticed, and I've been doing this for years, a lot of swimmers are coming down here and they're swimming 200 meters offshore. And I don't understand why you'd be 200 meters offshore. As far as I know, the water is the same at that depth where Dan and Katie are right now as it is 200 meters offshore. Maybe if you're in a private lake with no boats, that's a different story. But in a public lake, such as Cherry Beach, being out in the middle of the harbor there, I think is not safe at all. Swim close to the shore, 6 to 10 feet of water. If you get into any trouble, you don't feel, you start getting cold, it's just a quick little bop into shore. And there they go. And as you can see by the floaties, highly visible.
Yeah, yeah.
Highly visible.
All right. Now, you want to go join them?
I am going to join them.
Okay. I'll let you go in.
And I got to do my gray hair thing.
Yeah, yeah. Got a good shot at the North Toronto cap. That's good. How was your experience today?
Fantastic. This is the year where you get out there and swim. It's wonderful.
And Katie gave us she said you two were great. All right. And Doug.
Adaptability. That's what it's all about.
Now here's a question for you. You went through the cold water. As we get into May and June, same system, just different dress. Is that right?
Yes, absolutely.
Just different dress. You find out what.
Tri-suits, 3-meal hoodie, take your hoodie off, take your hoodie off.
Yeah.
One of the things, our province is cold water. We're not down the Caribbean.
Yeah.
So any large body of water is usually cold water.
And again, know where you're swimming. Know all about it, right? Swim with it.
Have fun.
Swim with the buddy. Swim buddy and a real buddy. That's
Yeah,
perfect.
always swim with a buddy.
Thanks very much. This will be great.